Welcome back. The high-stakes hearing on Capitol Hill and the race to secure votes. Senator Bob Corker announcing last night he's a yes, but there are a few key undecides. The Washington Post reports former President George W. Bush is making calls this morning ahead of the final confirmation vote next week in support. Bush reportedly rallying support from Republican Senators Susan Collins, Jeff Flake, and Lisa Murkowski, along with Democratic Senator Joe Manchin. Key votes to Kavanaugh's confirmation. Joining us now is Fox News contributor, former Deputy Chief of Staff to President George W. Bush, Karl Rove. Karl, good to see you this morning.
Morning.
Your thoughts?
Well, we had an historic moment yesterday. If you take each one of the presentations separately, they were both powerful and emotional and credible. But you can't take them separately. You have to take them together, and then you have to examine them. And I thought the Wall Street Journal editorial this morning got it absolutely right. There's no corroboration of Dr. Ford's explanation. The four people that she mentions, at times it's been varying amounts, but the four people that she has identified as being there deny it, including Leland Kaiser, who was her best friend or one of her best friends at the time, who said she never even met Brett Kavanaugh. We don't know how she got to wherever she was.
Right.
We don't know how she got home. All we know is that that's some distance from where she started her day, and that she didn't speak of it for 30 years until 2012, and even then didn't use Brett Kavanaugh's name.
That's exactly right.
You know, we're in a country where the presumption of innocence, and you've got, you know, it's the burden is not on him to prove that he wasn't there, but I thought he did a pretty good job with his calendars of disproving a negative.
Yeah, and Dagan, the op-ed that Karl refers to is from Kim Strassel, and she writes, to vote against Judge Kavanaugh now is to overthrow due process.
It's that, also the editorial, written by the editorial board, that they go into the same issues of a rejection will bring dishonor to the Senate. It will validate the ambush and smear politics that Democrats are using. But it will also turn Supreme Court nominations over to the justice of the social media mob and the politics of accusation. It's time for the Senate to stand up and vote him onto the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Yes. Karl, good morning. It's Liz Peek. It seemed like public sentiment really shifted dramatically from being pretty much in the court of the accuser in the morning and then standing by Kavanaugh in the afternoon. At the end of the day, is it really going to come down to public opinion? Are Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins and Jeff Flake really going to be swung by opinion polls, or are we hoping that they are actually going to see this for what Kim Strassel rightly points out is just a complete descent into anarchy here?
Yeah. I don't think any of the three people that you mentioned are going to make their decision by wetting their finger and blowing, holding it in air and see which way the wind blows. I don't. Kim is right. The editorial board is right. This is an important moment for our political process. If Judge Kavanaugh is not confirmed, then this will be a green light to use this in the future against any other Supreme Court nominee that either side does not like. But I will tell you, I believe he will be confirmed. Brett Kavanaugh deserves to be confirmed and will be confirmed. But the damage to our system has been done, and it's not going to go away easily. They have undermined confidence in the U.S. Supreme Court, this institution that for so long in the modern era has stood aside from politics. The Democrats, by a organized, systematic, deliberate effort of character assassination, have undermined, like it or not, even if Brett is confirmed, as I believe he will be, they have undermined the credibility of this great institution, and it's not going to be easily recovered.
Just the way they undermine the credibility of the FBI and the Department of Justice for not showing the world accountability after a cabal of individuals put their finger on the scale or tried to stop Donald Trump during the 2016 election. Got to get that out because that's important. We need to trust our FBI and our DOJ. Gary, go ahead.
Karl, Gary Smith, nice to see you again.
Gary B., good morning.
Good morning. Quick question for you. If the nomination gets derailed, what do you think the White House does as next steps?
Well, if it were to be derailed, and I don't think it will be at this point, then they would quickly send up a replacement appointment, and the Republicans would move heaven and earth to get that nominee, he or she, confirmed before the November election. But the Democrats will use every tool of obstruction they possibly can. to stop it. And there will be a period during which any new nominee is going to have to undergo the background check that is routine. Right. And this is one of the things that gets me about Brett Kavanaugh, who is a personal friend of mine and a colleague from the White House, for whom I have enormous respect. And his wife is one of the finest people that I know. And he's undergone 7 background checks, including 2 very deep background checks when he was at the White House and then when he was put on the Court of Appeals. And none of this was ever raised. And I'm like Dagan. I thought, Dagan, you picked out one of my least favorite people on the committee, Richard Blumenthal, the stolen valor candidate for the United States Senate, who lectures Brett on credibility. And so many of the other members of the committee, Senator Spartacus, D. Thrace, was a hot dog in the hearings. But all of them, virtually every one of them at the beginning of even at the beginning of the process, before there was ever a hearing, had announced their intention to stop Brett's nomination. And they've used every tool that they possibly can. And shame on them for bringing this on the United States Senate.
No, Karl, I would just expand it beyond just that committee in terms of some of my least favorite people who've ever been elected to office in the history of the Republic. I would expand it to that. But
another conversation.
You've got a broad group you're going after this morning. I like it. You must be drinking a lot of caffeine, but keep at it. I like it.
Oh, we are fired up here, Karl.
No,
Great.
It's Lindsey Graham got me fired up with that southern flair and bluntness that we saw yesterday. I paraphrase the great Chuck Yeager. We might be raw, but we know right from wrong, and we can spot a phony before he ever says his first words. And I think that he brought the heat yesterday.
Well, he said what a lot of people were thinking, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I thought Kavanaugh did a great thing by calling out the Democrats right at the beginning about doing this process. I love the hypocrisy of calling for an FBI investigation after Dianne Feinstein kept an FBI investigation from being conducted for 60 vital days, when all of this could have been resolved in private, and Dr. Ford could have kept her privacy, and Brett Kavanaugh could have kept his reputation.
Oh, yes, that was rich. They support women, and yet they threw her under the bus real quick. Karl, good to see you. Thanks very much for joining us. Karl Rove.